Today, guys, I'm gonna tell you the differences I'm experiencing competing natural versus enhanced. Let's dive into it. Now, guys, full disclosure, full disclaimer, I understand that I've used steroids before, so then I can't be natural now. Let me give you guys an understanding of what I mean by training natural. I have not been on gear, steroids, HRT, whatever you want to call it, peptides, SARMs, whatever it is. Haven't been on anything since 2021 mid-October. I'm on HRT, don't have a doctor to prescribe it. I don't have a local drug dealer to give it to me either, and then take a TRT dose. I'm doing this natural. I'm doing this with my natural abilities, if that makes more sense if you guys understand. So I want to compare literally from the last time I was competing for a show to this time competing for a show. 6.5 weeks out from the Masters Olympia, I'm competing in the 212 division. And last time I was prepping for the Tampa Bay Pro 212. Now, last time I was competing, I was coming down from the open class. I was walking around at 260, 65 pounds. I've peaked at around 270 pounds. I would go on stage at around 234, 35 pounds peeled. That's the difference. Then I decided, hey, I'm not gonna do that much anymore, since it was, during that time, the vid, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I might as well, just go down. And I decreased my dose to 150 milligrams of test, and I was doing 150 milligrams of test, 75 milligrams of Winstrol inject, suspension and Winstrol, and then the other things that I took as well too. Those are the only two, I would say, anabolics that I was taking. Everything else was like fat burners, anything that was burning fat, T3, Clen. There's a video on my cycle that I'll click right here. You guys can click it up. Now, so when I came down from there, I got down. I couldn't make it to show you guys know the story about that, but literally, I was 220 pounds by the time I was supposed to leave, and I was a diuretic away from being 212, right? From then, and when I finished and I didn't compete after that, I was like, I'm done, blah, blah, blah. And then I was getting roles for shows, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop. Might as well just not do anything, like I can compete anymore, and that's that. And came off everything cold turkey. I came off cold turkey, and I've done a video on that, and I explained that to myself. But long story short, my mental health is good. I didn't just drop out of nowhere, and the reasons my theory behind that is because I was on 150 milligrams for like 2 years before I even competed for a show or tried to compete that last time. So it's not like my body went from doing a contest prep open bodybuilding cycle and then came off cold turkey, because then 100% I definitely would imagine I would have crashed pretty hard, because I did come off before, didn't come off cold turkey, but I've came off every show I used to come off, and I would definitely crash. This time I didn't, because my body wasn't going from 1,000 milligrams, it was going from 150 milligrams. So that's my theory. Now, here we are, 2023, 6.5 weeks out from the Masters Olympia. I've been off, and I've been slowly basically coming down. I've been trying to lose weight in the most basic way pre-contest. I was trying to get smaller and smaller so I can get some more roles for shows, because for TV shows and movies, because basically I get shortlisted. I got blessed to be able to get this role, because the role for me, I think, because I'm at the size I am now, for that role, it looks more realistic than a 265 pound, 5'8" dude in a frame like this. It's just too much. I was literally on set yesterday, and the guy's like, hey, we really want to, we need you to move a little left so we can get you in a frame, because we want to see your traps. I was like, whoa, never had that issue before. I need to move in more so you can see my traps. Like, Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Anyway, so now, counting back, I would say 10 weeks, I start prepping for the show. I'm starting my contest prep at 230 pounds. I couldn't get any lower than 220, 230 pounds. And, this show basically is forcing me to get lower, because I'm, again, competing in 212. Competing in 212, I'm still at 230 pounds walking around. So if I was competing, if someone's like, oh, you're competing, I was talking to Fuad at the Canadian Nationals. And he was like, "You doing it on nothing?" I'm like, "No, nothing." I'm like, "No." He's like, "You crazy?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I'm doing 212." He's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm not doing open. Open? Trying to do open on no gear is just not intelligent." I mean, I'm not saying it's not intelligent in terms of like, you know, you need to do gear and you're intelligent. I'm talking about like, there's no way heck I'm going to the Masters Olympia, the actual Olympia, or any show on the planet in the open class, not enhanced. Not gonna happen. So that's a big difference. I already have a lot of muscle that I've built up my entire life. I've trained since I was 11 years old, and I've had a good, 8 years on the sauce with my genetic abilities as well too, to building a very great base. Hence why people are like, you can't say you're natural because all the extra muscle that you built. Yes, 100%. I get that. I agree. I would never compete in a natural federation whatsoever. This is not, for me, that's just unethical. Let's talk about differences in training. Number one, the rate of muscle growth and recovery. When I competed on steroids, it accelerated my muscle growth to the max. Meaning that I can start a prep and grow into prep, right? I would grow into prep because I had steroid use. I had the ability to have, you know, the protein synthesis happened a lot quicker. So every time I would train, I could still build. The first bit of my prep, I'd be building muscle because I was in an environment that my body was just an extreme anabolic environment. There was food and there were steroids. Massive difference. The amount of, you know, how much I can train, you know, the intensity, all that. Now, I have to be that much more meticulous in terms of not understanding, but planning out, you know, recovery. Or I would say knowing when to push and when to pull back. So when it comes to, you know, training non-enhanced, it's a big difference. I have to be very careful of how hard I train in the gym. If that makes sense. I'm taking my sets to, you know, 2 to 3 reps from failure. I'm not in the gym pushing it to the limits because recovery is crucial. Recovery is crucial for those who are enhanced and those who aren't enhanced. But for those who aren't enhanced, we have to take more measures in terms of recovery. Now, intensity. When it comes to intensity, right? Intensity, 100% intensity is something that you can still do yourself. Like, you don't need steroids to be intense. But when you're on steroid, your stamina for your intensity increases, right? So this is what I mean by that. I'm an intense person anyway. I've always had. I remember Dr. Mike had a video, or he did a video talking about like train to failure and like true failure, and what it takes to really get the true failure. I'm talking like the set. There's training hard, then there's training to failure, then there's training to like failure. I'm talking like that place where you gotta go somewhere dark and find that extra, you know, oomph in there to get you there. There's that. I've always had that in me, but on steroids, I'll tell you right now, it goes beyond that. There is another level of that place that you can go, that it brings you, that you can no longer do naturally. What I mean by that is, if I decide to go balls to the wall like that, it's going to impede my recovery. Because I can definitely do that on steroids, whatever, because I'm going to recover quick. Make it easy. I don't have the stamina to keep the intensity as high as I could before on steroids. That makes sense. Like, I'm in, you know, I can take some sets to failure or, you know, really push, but I don't have the stamina I had being on. Way different. So when it comes to, you know, training for me now, the biggest difference I definitely feel is that ability to really push harder and hard in the gym. Like, You can push, when I was on, I can push hard from start to finish. Like, I'm talking, my first set is intense and my last set of my last exercise is just as intense. That is not an exaggeration. That is a fact. Now, my first set is intense. My second set is intense. The third set is intense. The fourth set's kind of, and I'm just basically being smart and smart. And my intensity in turn, like my intensity, how I keep that up is by just making the sets and reps harder, by just like being a little more meticulous with my, contractions. I'm not saying you can't do that on steroids. I'm just saying that it allows you to go that much further. I can't perform as many reps with the load as I did before. Not even close. Perfect example. Today I did incline barbell press, just because I want to put it back in just for a day, just to do it. I was doing 225, very controlled, for 8 reps. So my negatives was like, it was 1,001, 1,002, stretch, boom. That was my rep. This is exactly what my reps look like. Only 8. Before, 315 for 10 to 12 reps. That's a massive difference. Another plate today is like I'm tearing my pec. Period. That's a big difference. Now, when it comes to like, nutrition wise, some of you guys might know, some of you guys might not know. But to make things very clear, when you are on steroids, your metabolic rate is higher. You have a faster metabolism. You burn fat faster. Your overall non-exercise activity thermogenesis is higher. Your total daily energy expenditure is higher. Everything is that much greater when you're on. So basically, the calories my body intakes when I'm on fuels a way more intense, powerful, longer workout. When I'm not on, I gotta be real mindful of my calories, my calorie timing, my caloric intake. Now, I'm not saying that when you're on and you're repeating, you can just F off with your diet. I'm saying that I gotta be a lot more meticulous when it comes to my nutrition, in terms of like making sure that I'm eating the proper amount of protein, carbs, and fats, to make sure that I am recovering, to make sure that my joints lubricated, make sure my digestion is still good, to make sure that my protein is on par, so I can make sure I can recover the muscle that's being damaged, or hopefully maybe grow a little bit into prep. But that is a massive difference. Steroids sometimes bridges a gap for a lot of things that you can make some mistakes on, or kind of like, you can be a little carefree a little bit here and there. You can a little bit. Steroids are going to help a little bit with that when it comes to your metabolism. That's the only big thing about that. So when you think about it, when you're on steroids, obviously you're just in a extreme anabolic environment all of the time, all day long. I'm not saying I'm not, but I have to be very meticulous and on point to make sure that I am, because I will lose muscle. If I'm not smart with my prep, my protein, carbs, fats, meal timing, like if I'm skipping meals, if I don't eat, like if I'm not eating, I decide, I'm gonna miss a meal, whatever, that I am in jeopardy of losing muscle. I can lose muscle, for sure I can. So those are like some big differences of training on and off. My strength is no longer where it was before at all. Now, what's the difference between that? I mean, like, how do I combat that? Well, I just have to be that much more attentive to my full range of motion, time and attention, and obviously my nutrition. Now, let's talk mental health. Let's talk cardio. Let's talk cardio first. So cardio, right? My cardio isn't as the same before. I have the same ability to push myself as I want, but stuff like Clen, stuff like GW, stuff like, those things give me ability to, be that much stronger easily. I can't do that. Clen, that's like adding another 30 minutes of cardio for free. T3, that's like adding another 30 minutes of cardio for free. Like literally, those things can help you lose fat very, very quickly. I have to make sure that I do my cardio and I'm in a deficit no matter what. And you still have to when you're enhanced, but I don't get that extra boost. You understand? If person A, which is me, and person B, which is me of 2 years ago, is doing the same amount of cardio, person me, A, presently, is going to only burn what I can actually burn. Person B of me 2 years ago is going to burn, I would say, almost an hour of cardio extra more because of the things I was using to help aid my fat burning while I'm doing cardio. Not only just while I'm doing cardio, but like the entire day. T3, Clen, SARMs, you kidding me? It's not like I wasn't doing the cardio, because I was still doing an hour and 30 minutes of cardio last time I was competing. But I was still taking those things too, which made it even more, it made it more efficient. Way more efficient. Now let's jump to my mental health. What's the difference? I'll tell you one thing, way better. If I can tell you one thing that I would say is the best thing about prepping not on anabolics, my mental health. I'm not saying that when I was on, my mental health was all out of whack. I can promise you right now, I'm telling you that when I was on, I had to manage it that much more. Way more. Way more being like, you know, when it comes to anger, sadness, frustration, anxiety, you know, all those things are exacerbated when I'm on. I'm talking for me. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking for me and me only. My experience. Because I've been open up my mental health. I've been in therapy since 2014. I still go to therapy. I think I'll be in therapy for the rest of my life. I'll always have a brain coach there for me to make sure that I am, you know, optimal with my way I'm thinking. I think everybody should. But this year, there's not even a, like, usually at this point of prep, I'm doing cardio and I just start crying. Like, not necessarily crying because I'm sad, but like, I'm gonna be just really grateful. But like, those are times of like, you know, when your body is just going through so much, your hormones are so off that you're just like, you know, your emotions are that much more intense. My emotions are very regulated right now, are a lot more regulated. The biggest difference for me, I'm talking when it comes to training or this prep, is I don't have to manage my mental health anywhere near as much as I did when I was on. And I wasn't destructive. I wasn't, you know, always depressed at all. It wasn't like that. It just, I knew that I had to manage it more. It's, you're stimulated by your environment. And I found that very, not difficult, but 100% a challenge for me. That I had to make sure that I didn't respond to my environment. Where now I'm just like, people are like, hey, how's prep? I'm like, oh yeah, I am prepping. Yeah, I'm just busy. I'm really, really busy. And when I gotta train, it's part of my day. When I gotta do cardio, it's kind of part of my day, and it's finished really early. Then I got 1,000 things that are on the go, and then I only think about it. And then I'm just living my life. So it's been more peaceful, I would say. Anyway, that's the big difference for me, guys, when it comes to training. I am not on anything. What I am on, guys, is all of the supplements you see behind me. Literally. I'm on 5 milligrams of creatine. The cuts is absolutely dope. I was not a fat burner fan, like 100%. Like most fat burners are all the same. Mostly they just have, like, you know, their caffeine in it. But this is a legitimate, unbelievable appetite suppressant. If you are trying to prep for anything, I will 100%. I'd be using this, right? So what I've been using: Createch, Blade, Omegas, and Test. That's all I've been using. Not test, but like, here's the test of me. Wham! I've been using Status, Omegas, Createch, our Fat Burner Blade, Greens, and our pre-workout, and our hydration supplement here, which I love the most. One of my fave. And obviously protein. That is literally my stack, guys. And guys, if you want more information about that, guys, hit the link in the description below. Trust me, guys. I know you guys like, whenever creator says trust me, you don't trust them. So that's what I've been using. That's what I've been taking this entire prep and my hard work. Guys, the only reason why I believe that this is possible for me to do is because I got a ton of muscle from being an open class bodybuilder, right? Think of, put it this way. If, and I'm not saying that I am any of the bodybuilders that are there right now, but let's say Heidi Chopin decided he's not going to go on any gear for a year or 2 years and then do 212. I believe that he would still do very well. When you got a lot of muscle, you got a lot of muscle. I'm blessed to have a lot of muscle. I'm blessed to be young-ish in this class. I'm probably one of the younger Masters Olympia competitors in the 212 class. And again, guys, I'm still coming down to this. It's not like I was 190 pounds and then I'm trying to put on weight to be in the 212 class. I was already had muscle. I was coming down, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. My transparency, letting you guys know what I'm doing. Obviously, guys, I understand that I've had a good amount of time in terms of years to enhance my body and the muscle that I have. So no, I am not a natural competitor, but yes, I am doing this anabolic free. And that's it. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. For more videos like this, guys, let me know in the comment section below. And any questions you guys want, any suggestions for any videos you want me to cover, let me know also in the comment section below. Until next time, guys, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.